Hello, welcome everyone. Welcome to the Building Beloved Community Convergence. We're grateful that you found our stream on Facebook. And we are in the middle of an incredible convergence where we're bringing people all over the world together in Zoom rooms to have extraordinary experiences, not only with understanding and developing our heart around the teachings of Dr. Martin Luther King, but also beautiful, in this instance, beautiful movement and dance and expressive arts. So we're grateful that you found us, and we want to send some email love to you. So we would love to send an email to help you navigate what is happening on Facebook and on our website and through our convergence, as we have other offerings that are going on throughout tomorrow evening, which is Monday night. So Dr. King's day of service. So you can go to compassiongames.org/MLK Convergence, compassiongames.org/MLK Convergence, and sign up to attend, and you will receive some invitations to join us for the next 2 days. So thank you so much. I am so grateful to be in this Zoom room here, which you find the link. You can click the link to go into the Zoom room wherever you're watching this. There's a link. If we're live, you can join us in the Zoom room, and we will share this experience. And I'm about to turn this over to Sue Blythe, who she and I, we have worked on these parallel projects for I think over a year and a half, and I just absolutely lit by Sue's light, and I know that this time together is going to be so sacred and special. So Sue, thank you so much for what you do and for all of the things that we're bringing together in the world towards unity and towards peace in the world. So thank you, dear.
Thank you so much, Becky. And I'm just really delighted to be here today with Lolo Lesser, who has introduced me to a whole new way of expressing the love and the peace that we're all looking for. And so I'm welcoming you from We the World, and we are doing a pilot program with the University of Florida's Extension, working with sustainable Floridians. And in so doing, we are bringing in the themes all year long. And in January, of course, we are looking at Martin Luther King. It's a very special day, his birthday, for me personally, because his birthday is my birthday. And it's also my dad's birthday. And so it's my pleasure to kind of celebrate all of that with you today. My dad was born in 1918 on January 15th. And he was born in South Georgia into what I understand now is a very racist culture. And I grew up in that. Actually, it was going to my grandparents every summer, where I experienced all of the segregated heyday in the 1950s of the way life used to be. And so the story of me, my dad, and Martin Luther King is bringing me from that cultural beginnings of my life through to where my awakening was when I saw on TV the march for Martin Luther with Martin Luther King and others talking about civil rights and just in the news making me aware of things that I had no idea. It was like this giant what, this is happening in the world, and it made no sense. And so it's been quite a process for me to come through all of that, to raise my children in a way that helped them not to be in living in a segregated society as much as I could. And I did that through just making friends with people who are different from us and helping them to have a variety. in their lives of friends. And now my grandchildren are growing up as world citizens, doing world school, where they actually travel to different parts of the world and meet people in their own cultures. And so it's been quite a journey for me. And where this led was hearing Dr. King's uh, well, in 1963, he did the March on Washington with the I Have a Dream speech. But the next year, he won the Nobel Peace Prize. And in his lecture, he talked about a world house, a great world house in which we have to learn to live together. And that's what Lolo is going to bring to life through movement in just a moment. But the that that image of a world house and learning to live together with Black and white and Easterners and Westerners, um, Gentiles and Jews. He goes through a whole series of the faith groups that have had traditional conflicts and saying that we have to learn to live together. So my own part of this was taking that quote with the Interfaith Climate Group and the University of Florida Extension. This is in 2015. We went to the Martin Luther King Commission and said, we'd like to do an interfaith community-wide climate conversation and use this quote as our centerpiece. And they said, fine, go for it. And so all these years later, we are working on it still and looking for different ways to bring this quotation to life through the arts. And so with that, I'd like to turn it to Lolo, who has actually done a wonderful way of bringing that quotation to life through some original music and movement.
Thank you, Sue. Thank you for empowering me with this wonderful words of Martin Luther King, which is very much embodying the peace in the world, the whole intention of my project, Empatharian Movement for Peace, which I inherited from my mother. She started in 1956 after leaving apartheid in South Africa and leaving England for the United States. She came and having been a Russian speaker first, discovered that there could be a universal language, perhaps, that all would understand beyond words. So that was nonverbal communication, and she started developing a gestural language, which she never finished, much to our benefit, because we have the wonderful job of joining together with all the people's worlds and creating a gestural universal language, which has never been created in all of time. They've always had gestures that are very cultural and individual, and I don't want those to go away. Those are wonderful, having our separate individual cultures, but bringing us together so that we can communicate direct to hearts. Language is very primal in gesture. We are much more attuned to gesture than we are to the word, but the word also carries in our minds a lot of power. So Empatharian Movement for Peace, I kind of combined my psychology background with my mother's dance. And we have taken the great words of our master, Martin Luther King, and hope to take many others. But actually, this is a interpretation of his words that is about peace building. And we're very grateful to a beautiful song that's composed by one of my cohorts here today. I want to again acknowledge Noam Gaston for his marvelous song, and Brendan Gallagher of England, who did the singing. So Becky, are you there to play our short so we can here, this is a challenge. We want everyone to participate and bring their take on the world house, so that we can contribute our inherent individualistic and combined fix on creating a world house. Looks like it's coming. So this is a short version. Sing and dance your heart out with the World House Challenge, magnetizing world peace with a universal language of gestures, co-created by Reverend Martin Luther King Jr.'s speech, We the World, Empatharian Movement
This is
for
a great
Peace
new
and
problem of
Unity.
mankind. We have inherited a big house, a great world house, in which we have to live together. Black men and white men, Easterners and Westerners, Gentiles and Jews, Catholics and Protestants, Muslims and Hindus, a family unduly separated in ideas, culture, and interests, who, because we can never again live without each other, must learn somehow in this one big world house to live with each other. This is our great challenge.
Catholic and Protestant, Muslim and Hindu, a family unduly separated in ideas, culture, and interests, who can never again live without each other, must learn somehow in this one big world house to live with each other. Never again live without each other, must learn somehow to live with each other. Never again.
It was hard to cut short that song. But there we go. Never again. That's the important part, because we have in the past cut off our arms, cut off our legs, pieces of our world. We have cut away from our consciousness. And how amazing that in the 40 years since Sue was a child and we are here today, so much has come open. The wound is quite open, and I believe the air will heal it so that we can create a world community. And that is my idea. So we wanted to, well, I think maybe that tape did not convey. I'm quite interested. Did anybody like to give some feedback in the chat about whether they got that was a contest that they could participate in? Very clearly, this is something where we want entries free of charge, and we are going to provide some marvelous worldwide broadcasting of something that we hope will move hearts and move minds, which is what Martin Luther King and all of our indigenous elders have been bringing to us, that we need to embody in ourselves what peace building is about. And we're not going to roll over. That's not it. We're making a stand for peace building. So we're making a stand for peace building where everyone wins. And in this contest, everyone wins, including the whole earth. So that's the idea. And I would like to inspire you just to enjoy the movements of, we'll be showing you a little more of the movements in the next video, although there will be further videos where the movements will be more clear. So I apologize, the movements of the World House dance that are choreographed with the music are not very clear, but you'll see some of them. And it's very easy, simple movements, which actually have great physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual benefits. So I want the whole world doing it, you know? And I would like to have your help and support in creating a message that magnetizes that energy.
Um, so, Lolo, I wonder, would it be possible? We didn't even talk about this, but could you just demonstrate the movements for us,
Sure,
or
absolutely.
talk about a little bit about what each one of the movements means and how they all fit together?
Well, of course, you heard the words of the song and the words of Martin Luther King, which I believe I'd actually like you to repeat those again for everybody because I think it was hard to hear. Do you have that in front of you,
I
Sue?
don't, but I will in a minute.
Okay, I
So,
just because and then I'd be happy to do mine, the movements.
okay. Well, if you want to show the second video, that would be fine while I pull this up.
There's actually a question in the chat that talks about the relevancy of sign language to this, if there's any connection.
Yes. Oh, I love that question. Thank you for whoever asked that. Sign language is wonderful. Now, you call it sign language, but here's what its actual thing is. It's American Sign Language. And let me tell you why it's American Sign Language. There's a different sign language in England. There's a different sign language, again, in Australia. There's a different sign language in every country of the world. For every verbal language, there's a different sign language. And American Sign Language actually is one of the most amazing ones, which I want to embody a lot of those words because they are using a lot of intuitive gestures. And that's what Empatharian is about, gestures that when you look at them, you can understand what is being said. And American Sign Language was created from a combination of several intuitive sign languages that had developed in parts of the United States in the early 1800s. And then it combined with the French Sign Language. So it's not even from English. The sign language actually was from the French Sign Language, which the people, Gallaudet, who created the Deaf Academy on the East Coast, he did an amazing job of amalgamating and creating American Sign Language and consolidating it into a language so that people could have back and forth conversation. And American Sign Language, as all of you have seen when we see an American Sign Language person next to a speaker, is amazing in how the face and all of it does combine in the communication. And but the difference with Empatharian and sign language is Empatharian is large whole body gestures. So we're using the whole body. So that's one thing. Although you can do it if you sit in a wheelchair, you can just use the upper body, but it's whole body and movements. So, and we're not translating every single noun and verb and preposition as perhaps American Sign Language does. It's hard for me to figure it out, but we are translating meaning. So there's a process that goes on between the written and meaning. So I did that with Martin Luther King's words, which are about a world house, his vision of us all in the world together, our separate rooms perhaps, but all part of the same house. So
I have the quote if you'd like. I can read it through, and then would you dance it through so we can
sure,
see?
absolutely. I'm going to turn my computer here and put it in another spot so that I can move more easily.
Okay. So let me just read through. It says, and again, this is from Dr. King's Nobel Peace Prize lecture. And he said, "This is the great new problem of mankind. We have inherited a big house, a great world house, in which we have to live together. Black and white, Easterners and Westerners, Gentiles and Jews, Catholics and Protestants, Muslim and Hindu, and I like to add humans and nature. A family unduly separated in ideas, culture, and interests, who, because we can never again live without each other, must learn somehow in this one big world to live with each other." And so I'm going to ask you to take a few steps forward so we can see you better.
Well, I'm trying to show the rest of my body.
Okay.
The whole body.
Okay.
But you know
Okay.
what? The upper body is enough.
Okay.
So is that
So
okay? How's that
I'll-
right there?
Perfect. Perfect. So let me read and you just
No,
move.
no, it's okay. We have to do the music with it. So I'll
Oh,
just
okay.
because it's kind of with the music, but you'll see in the video, the music kind of carries the movements along, and that's the whole idea.
Okay.
Which I can actually play the music and do it. That's a thought.
Well, let's do.
Okay, let's see. The nice thing about doing movement with music is that it helps you to slow down and keep a rhythm in your body with your heartbeat. So music, again, is another one of those things that's very primal. And let's see. So here it is.
So let me just explain a little about what we're asking in this challenge. Is that as you watch Lolo do this movement, it will inspire you to you can learn the exact movement, which I think when you register, and it would be sending Lolo an email, you would receive then shortly a recording, and probably we can just use what you're about to do right now to send to them as the example of what this looks like in the Empatharian movement language, so to speak. And then, as I understand, there's also a free form where you just get to move however you feel, and so a video of that as well. And so to learn it yourself, move it in whatever way seems right to you. Get a video of that, send it in, and the plan is for us to do like a montage where we would put different clips of different people doing the movement to these words and the song. And so let's give Lolo.
Even more, Sue. Remember, there's even more, and that's that people can do their own music tracks. We'd like it
Yes.
to blend with this, but we would like, we're willing to do like hip hop music tracks along with it to weave through. And we're hoping to get eventually about a 35-minute video here that has many different styles that will contact many different types of people, youth as well as elders of all ages. So we're bringing together the elders and the youth and the children. And so we'd like you to do the movement, just at least give it a one whirl, and you can do your own interpretation of the movement as well. And also do your own improvisation. So this is really to stimulate improvisational movement, which is from your heart as well. But my movement helps you to embody and integrate all the stress, trauma in the body. So that's one of the things that my Peace Arts training is involved with. And if you sign up to do this, I will give you the whole Peace Arts training one by one. And so you'll get that free of charge. And that's for your commitment to contribute. So here we go.
This is a great new problem of mankind. We have inherited the big house, great house, in which we have to live together, black and white, Easterners, Westerners, Gentile and Jew, Catholic and Protestant, Muslim and Hindu, family unduly separated in ideas, culture, and interests. Never again live without each other, must learn somehow in this one big world house to live with each other. Never again live without each other, must learn somehow to live with each other. Never again live without each other, must learn somehow to live with each other. Never again live without each other, must learn somehow to live with each other. In this one big world, we live together. In this one big world, we live together. In this one big world, we live together. In this one big world, we live together.
Here we are, folks. So I've stopped seeing myself on the screen somehow. And I'm gonna go back and sit. So
Thank you. That's wonderful.
well, and doing it 6 times is the medicinal dose. So in that song, I think I did it 3 times. So you'd have to play the song twice, I think, to do the medicinal dose. We are talking about organs of the body being stimulated and our entire health being stimulated, doing this very simple movement, which is kind of like a universal language of Tai Chi, eh?
Mm. So I was just going to say that as a universal language, this is something that we could pass on. I'm working with some people in Africa and South America, and we often run into language challenges, shall we say. But this is a way that people can communicate nonverbally.
Well, it's a way for our hearts to communicate. And right now, we need to generate that luminosity and that energy and that empathy for each other. And the project is Empatharian Peace Arts Training. peace arts facilitation. And it's really, I'd like my vision long-term is for groups of people, small groups, to be doing this, having conversations around the world. So we have partners around the world that we're communicating with in conversation back and forth. But there's a requirement to embody yourself first for about 6 months doing this particular set of movements because we need to get kind of, you know, the body holds all of our trauma. The body holds all of our tension. The body holds all of that. So we really want to have a medicinal treatment for ourselves so that we can be more clear vessels and vehicles for our own personal embodiment and individuality in this creation. And as we go, we will be creating the language.
So there was a question about what happens if someone is not able to stand up or would prefer to do that. Is it still medicinal?
You can do it seated. It works really. And in fact, I broke my foot a while ago. Just about, well, August 27th, I broke my foot. And I was 2 months without walking. And I was doing it as seated practice. And it works great. I like having a little room so I can move my arms. So I use a flat stool on wheels. Wheelchairs, for example, are kind of made that way. Yes, it's made so that you can do it in a wheelchair.
Good. And I noticed you said that if someone registers with you, first of all, how did they do that?
Well, just email me at anempatharian@gmail.com.
And you might as well spell that, please.
Well, I tell you what, we're going to be playing this next video, and I think it's sitting on the end of the last screen there.
Okay.
So maybe
And-
that's the easiest, because spelling is complicated, isn't it?
Yes.
Lots of A's. That's all I want to say.
Empatharian. Yeah. If you would just explain about what happens, you mentioned something that comes as a series of emails.
Well, I have a 21-day set of practices that involve a little time, and that would of course be optional, but they're like 15-minute processes in addition to doing the movement. So it's about a 10-minute, 15-minute movement sequence, and then about a 15-minute set of journaling or art improvisation. So we're doing some practices that help us to get clear on what our own intentions are and what's going on for us consciously or even subconsciously. So we're using some processes to access that. And I will be facilitating your group. So whatever comes up, I would facilitate. But when we do this, we would always have a facilitator there. Everything you do is your own private thing. But there are times when we want to talk to somebody about, gee, this came up. Actually, that's one of the things that's really nice about having a group where we all talk. Because sometimes when you talk about things, you learn things from other people's observations of you. And that's my...
So what you're saying is if somebody wants to either, well, get the email to you and you'll see it during the video, and they would receive these the 21-day program.
Well, no, well, we've got to go through, they'd have to apply to be part of the World House Challenge, right? I mean, I'm not going to just send them right away after they send me an email. We just need to have them apply, and it's a very simple, small process, just so we can have your email on record, I guess. Yeah.
So they'd get first the guidelines for the challenge to send
Right,
in a
right.
video with the movement.
Yeah.
And then the 21-day experience.
Yeah.
And are you saying that that comes with regular meetings?
Well, I haven't thought it out real well. It would be nice to have regular meetings.
Yeah, maybe
I'd
once a
like to
week.
get feedback from other people about that. Sometimes people feel that meetings are an imposition and they don't have time for them. So I understand that point of view. So we would be doing this as a process together, without meetings to start, but I'm in touch with everybody,
Okay.
and I would like to have it be group meetings. So
That'd be
actually that might be part of our question in when people enroll. Would you like to be part of a discussion group?
Yeah. Good.
We call
Okay.
it a talking circle,
Very nice. I think that would
story
be
time
wonderful.
circle.
Good. And then Becky, I think maybe we're ready to play that second video, which includes some of the same material as the first, but expands it in a way that gives you a better sense of the whole. Yes.
Wonderful. I've got it queued up, and it was just so wonderful to see some of our people in our Zoom room moving, and invite anybody who wants to turn their video on to move with this, including Lolo and Sue. I'm doing it from my chair too, and to move. It's just so beautiful. So when you're ready, I'll share it.
Great.
Okay, I like the idea of moving while we're doing it. I'm going to go move. Thanks, Becky.
Family inherits a house in which they have to live together. This is a great new problem of mankind. We have inherited a big house, a great world house in which we have to live together. Black men and white men, Easterners and Westerners, Gentiles and Jews, Catholics and Protestants, Muslims and Hindus, a family unduly separated in ideas, culture, and interests, who, because we can never again live without each other, must learn somehow in this one big world house to live with each other. And this is our great challenge.
We the World and Empatharian Movement for Peace present the World House Challenge, a contest where the whole world wins. Inspired by Reverend Martin Luther King Jr.'s words and his intentions for our world.
This is the great new problem of mankind. We have inherited a big house, a great world house, in which we have to live together. Easterners and Westerners, Gentile and Jew, Catholic and Protestant, Muslims and Hindu. This is the great new problem of mankind. We have inherited a big house, Gentile Jew, Catholic and Protestant, Muslim and Hindu. This is the great new problem of mankind. We have inherited a big house, a great world house, in which we have to live together, black and white, Easterners and Westerners, Gentile and Jew, Catholic and Protestant, Muslims and Hindu. This is the great new problem of mankind. We have inherited a big house, a great world house, in which we have to live together, black and white, Easterners and Westerners, Gentile and Jew, Catholic and Protestant, Muslim and Hindu.
So that gives a sense of the variety that can be you can express it in the way that feels right for you and send in a video. Yes.
Anybody have any feedback or ideas? Oh, Julie's clapping. I can see. That's so sweet. Thank you. I see a lot of people have their videos turned off, but I'm so glad you're watching. So if you have anything in the chat that you'd like to communicate to us, there's 22 things in the chat. Oh my goodness. How does the sign language fit in? I'm looking at some of the questions.
I actually did look through the questions and tried to bring them out when they happened, and so did Sue. So I think
Okay.
some of it might just be people leaving the room.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for doing that. Wow, Becky, great job. All right.
Thank you all.
When Shannon Crossbear is, I'm not sure if she's still here, but she wrote, it reminds her of Qigong with the medicinal dose.
Exactly. Well, I have done my share of Qigong, let me tell you, and I love it. And I actually am using some of the Qigong in my 21-day challenge, including some of those beautiful organ stimulating and little hacks and tricks for our bodies that are so important to learn. Nobody teaches us these things, you know? Or maybe they do. But anyway, I thought it would be fun to put it all together in a place that people worldwide could get it, and children and people of all ages. So nice and simple.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you for the opportunity, and Lolo, bravo.
I saw there's I'm not happy with that. There was another piece that didn't get into the end of that had the email more easily seen. And I would like to just now spell my email because I think it wasn't easily seen. And I thought there was another, page that I made, but it didn't get in there. So it's AN, and then Empatharian is EMPATHARIAN. So Empatharian, anempatharian, all one word, @gmail.com. So I will be so happy to hear from you. And we'll show you developments of how our presentation continues to get more, what's the word, refined, so that we can do a very good magnetizing, captivating presentation so that people will participate with us. I think this is going to be a great project. And we have, by the way, a lot of interest in Africa and India and the UK, of course. We have many connections in the UK, but Uganda especially is quite interested. And I'm anyway, not going to go on about this. So thank you all for coming. I am so interested to meet you more intentionally when you contact me. And I hope you will, so that we can, and then you'll have a chance to decide again, after I send you whatever I send you, you can give me feedback about that as well.
Thank
And
you,
the
Lolo.
one thing I want to say is that I was a little disappointed in how my Zoom link showed the movements. The music sounded great though. How many people love the music? Oh, it looks like we've stopped. Have we stopped?
We're still going, but I think we have another group coming in.
We do. So I guess they've, for some reason, we're gone. So thank you, everybody. We better say goodbye. And I hope to hear from you soon. So enjoy everything. Blessings. And as I say, blessings, many blessings to you. Many blessings. This is family in American Sign Language. Family coming together. Yes, beautiful. So anyway, thank you for being there.